Hi, it's me, Brad, and today I am going to be showing you how to do 3D panoramic uh, images to post on Facebook using JWildfire. Um, of course, you may have seen them pop up a lot on Facebook. They're basically 3D images that you can use your mouse and scroll around in, and it's just really fun to play with them. But there's a lot of times, if you're not careful with JWildfire, you will end up getting a squish at the top and the bottom. For example, with this one. Everything looks good on the front, but if you go up to the top, there's a squish here where everything's kind of pinched to one point, and at the bottom, the same thing, everything is squished to one point, which to me is not the desired effect I would like. So I'm going to show you how to get rid of the squish, and also how to post 3D panoramic images on Facebook. When you look at regular panoramic images or equirectangular images, they all look a little distorted, and some parts are far away, some parts are close. Here's one I did, or that I used from this website up here, and how this part is all warped around. That looks really far apart. But if you look at it in the 3D panorama, you'll see everything looks like it would if you were actually there looking around. Nothing looks morphed or warped. You can go all the way around, look up, you can look down. Everything looks normal. There are some fractal programs like Mandelbulb 3D that has a here, if you look at this image, it's from Mandelbulb 3D, they have a pano camera, which automatically applies that effect. And when you render that out, it would look normal. It wouldn't be warped. But we do not have a camera like that inside of JWildfire. So to get started, I'm going to be using two flames here. They can both be found in the Apophysis Base Forms pack by Tyrant Rave. I'm going to be using just the disc Julian and the splits elliptic. So first, it helps if you have a round fractal. And if you have a round fractal, all you have to do is add a final. You add a final, and you go down to polar. But now, if you see, it only does half of it. So if we go and add post, where is it? Post mirror. We don't want anything on the x-axis, so we're going to make that 0. We go to y-axis, set that as 1. And then you make sure you're on the post transform. The button is clicked here. And if you expand, just enlarge the triangle just a little bit, so the top and the bottom are at the very edge. I'm going to fine edit. One more. And as you see, it now has warped. So this part here is looks closer. This part looks further away, and it's made it symmetrical. So it's turned that circle into a stretch it on its polar axis. And then if we go to X1 here, we want to expand this so it reaches both sides. So we just increase that. Whoop, a little too much. We want it right at the edge. When you get close, you can just use the arrow for fine-tuning. And that looks good like that. So if you render it, I've already rendered this, so let me show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like when you render it. And then when I'll show you the trick how to get it on Facebook. But first, when you post it to Facebook, it looks like this. And as you notice, if you go to the top, there's no squish. If you go to the bottom, there's no squish. Even though it looked kind of odd before we got it here, it looks great like this. And then you can go around, fly through it like normal. But if we don't have a circular fractal, like for example here, this is the elliptic splits. One of the ways regular photographers get this effect is they use a fisheye lens, which is basically just morphs around like a bubble. So to get that fisheye effect, we add a final. You go to fisheye. I'm going to zoom out here. And now that has made our fractal circular. And it's important to do fisheye first, and then do polar. If you do polar first and then fisheye, it will not work correctly. So we add a final. We go to polar again. Post mirror. For x-axis, we put 0. For y-axis, we put 1. And here it has actually let me make sure I'm saying this right. If sometimes you have to go to Y shift and bring it down. Oh, I'm sorry, bring it up. Then we bring this down some. Let's make sure this is still on 0. Try to center it. Then if we stretch it on X, I'm going to expand it a little bit so it reaches the tops and bottoms. Bring it down. The other down. We want it just at the edge of the top and bottom. Okay, that looks good. Then we go on X, expand that. Till it is right on the edge on the left and right. And another important thing to point out, under your resolution, you should have a 2:1 ratio. So for here, I'm using 2000 to 1, or you can use 4000 to 2, 3000 to 1500. It doesn't matter what you use, just as long as you have a 2:1 ratio. That is very important. So then if you render that, and again, I've already rendered it out. And you'll get this. And even though it looks kind of odd down here at the bottoms and tops, that's okay, because when we post it to Facebook, you'll see this is this is that part. And then if you go up, you notice there is no squish. Even though it looks like there's squish, that is part of like this part here. That is not squishing it. And that's why it's important to make sure that you get everything lined up as close as possible to the top, bottom, left, and right. or else you'll have a scene. On this one, there is no visible scene. So, once you have the images, normally when you save, it saves in a PNG format. So, but we need it to be in a JPEG format, or JPG or JPEG format. So I use Autodesk Pixlr. So if I just edit that, you can file, just go save as, hit JPEG, name it however you want. And then you save it. I go for full image quality. And then here's the image again as a JPEG. But now if you were to just upload this to Facebook, it would just post the regular image. Now here's where a little bit of the magic comes into play. Here's the one I did before. You need to right click, go into properties of the image, go to details, and where it says camera maker, you need to make it have the Ricoh, and then for camera model, you need to put Ricoh Theta S. So it's Ricoh for camera maker, camera model is Ricoh Theta S. That's RICOHTHETA-S. So in this one, which is the one I just did, you can just copy and paste from one of your other images. Go down to details. I normally just, for the camera maker, I just paste it and then delete the Theta S. For the camera model, you hit apply, hit OK. You hit upload a photo. This is the one we just did. Testing. Wait for it to upload. And the way you can tell that it has been converted to a 3D pano, if you notice down here in the right corner, there's a little globe. That's what you want to see before you post it, or else it will just be a regular flat image. So I have the little globe. You hit post. And then you can move it with your mouse. And if you notice over here on the right hand side, there's this little circle with looks like a camera going around it. What that does is it just, if you click on it, it just recenters to the center of the image. And again, there's no squish at the top. There's no squish at the bottom. just like down here again. No squish. And that is basically how you make 3D seamless, non-squish fractals with JWildfire. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Drop me a line on the YouTube comment section. I'd be happy to answer them for you. Till next time, talk to you later. Bye.